What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning. I'm just staying cozy over here because you know what? It is chilly in California, in Southern California where I'm at. And it's funny because I know my people back home in Pennsylvania would be like, shut the heck up. It's like 20 degrees here, but it's all relative. It's cold. So anyway, as I sit here really cozily, I want to share something with you. You know, yesterday I had a conversation with one of my clients and she says, hi, Tatiana, if you're on here, give me a little like, love, something I see here, leave a comment so I know who's here with me. Self-trust is so important. You guys don't know this, but I have to cut the cord with my clients in the most loving way, right? So, hey, Haley. So I am the coach that tells my clients, you don't need any more coaching. Go trust yourself, right? Now, this doesn't mean that we don't invest in different sorts of mentorship and explore retreats and things like that. But there's this idea where there's some people that think that like, if they don't have a coach, like their life is going to hell and they're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to have success. And I call bullshit on that. And yes, while people do pay me money for mentorship and, you know, it's something that I sell and it's something that I love to do. At the same time, you don't need it forever. That's why I do short-term coaching programs. But it's also, it comes down to self-trust. There's a paradox to trust. And whether it's coming to trusting yourself or trusting other people, and you'll find that they're kind of related, guys, is that the paradox is in trusting yourself, you really don't trust in yourself. And I'll tell you what that means. It may sound crazy. Just bear with me, right? Hi, Natalie. Hi, Lamorla. Hi, Gina. Hi, Lacey. Hi, Courtney. So I find that we can have the greatest success in life. And I mean success. It doesn't have a dollar amount attached to it unless you want it to. It means finding joy, contentment, waking up and saying, you know what? I love the life that I've created for myself, and I know that I can keep playing in this infinite field of possibilities and I can create other things, but right now it feels really good because I've honored my truth, right? We were just in the Permission Granted group. It was our first kickoff session. It wasn't our kickoff session. It was our first actual Permission Granted session, and we did this process around our throat and our voice, and we were feeling the vibration of it, and I reminded them, as I'm going to remind you ladies and maybe men that come on later, that in our voice, there's this vibration. If you put your hands on your throat, you can feel it. There's a vibration here. And if we do not express our truth, that which is coming from down here and wants to come up, we actually can create illness in our body, right? It happens a lot, very much. Happened to me, happens to other people. But we want to know that we're here to have trust. That when something is coming up for us and that we are meant to say something, that we had the courage to say it. Now, there are all different ways to say something, right? But when we begin to doubt ourselves, we doubt our divinity, we doubt what we're here to do, we doubt why we're even that great in the first place, or if we're even supposed to say something, or who am I to say it? Why would I say that to them? We start doubting ourselves, we shut ourselves down. And when we shut ourselves down, we block our blessings. And I don't know about you, but I am not in the business of blocking my blessings. Doesn't mean that I don't, because there's things that I'm not always conscious of because we're human and we have blind spots. However, you're always in the state of willingness of, I'm willing to see my blind spots. Show me that which I've been unwilling to see. Show me that which I've been unable to see, right? So we start to trust. But now going back to this paradox of trust, here's what I found. That trust in yourself doesn't mean that you actually trust in yourself as the human that you are, right? When I say that I trust in myself, I don't always trust in Nicole Sylvester because Nicole Sylvester, she doesn't know everything. Nicole Sylvester does not know everything, and neither does your human form. And now you guys may be like, okay, now she's getting crazy talking about human form and all these things, but it's real that we are mind, body, spirit, right? And we can test that out by just looking at our body, and we know that we don't have to get on board and tell our body what it needs to do, right? Our body is doing whatever it does. If I take this water and if I drink it, it's going to give me the hydration that I need, and then it's going to get rid of the rest as waste, right? I don't know how that happens. I don't have to depend on my intelligence for that, right? So what happens is, just like taking this sip of water and trusting that my body is going to do what it needs to do with it, I now take that same trust in intelligence and bring it all into all the places in my life, right? So I bring this trust into my business. I bring this trust into my performance. When I have to come onto this video, sometimes I'm like, all right, that video topic just came to mind. Do I really want to do that one? And then I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't know what's going to come up, but I'm going to trust. So when we're trusting, we know that there's something else driving the ship, right? There's something else driving this vessel, and I'm willing to lean into it. Courtney says, I love that. And it's so liberating, because we take off the pressure of being the smartest human being alive that knows everything, and I read this book, or I went to that school. And it's like, when people, I remember I used to get triggered when people were talking about the kind of college they went to. And I would feel like, well, I'm not that smart because I didn't go to college. And even though I did go to community college for a few semesters and dropped out, it's the fact that now I'm like, I know that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It was a choice that they decided to take on their path. It does not take away from my brilliance. My brilliance came as a God-given seed, something that can unfold. And there's classes and courses and coaches and retreats, and there's all these things that we can do that can help us nurture and become mirrors for us. But really what we're doing is we're becoming this place, a safe place for ourselves, where we can say, you know what? I don't know everything, but there's a part of me that does. It's not here. It's not this part of me. There's a deeper part of me. The same part of me that knew it was time to take my first steps. The same part of me that knew it was time to come out of my mother's womb. The same part of me that wakes me up, that tells me I'm tired, that tells me that person's not a good fit, or this doesn't feel right. That same force, that same intelligence will guide you to where you need to be guided. But what you have to do is you have to start trusting in yourself. And you can consider that a part of you. My thing is, we all have it. We all have it, and it's not something that one person has or I have and I'm lucky. It's not like that. We all have it, but we're not all tuned into it. So I invite you to do the work, to tune into it, to begin to trust yourself, to know that you're important, to know that everything that you are here feeling the urge to express, you're meant to express. And that all the people that sit around doubting their divinity is a waste of human potential. Are you one of those people? Because that is a waste of all of our time. Don't do that. Tatiana says, experience replaces education these years. People want your processes, not knowledge. Yes, and it depends. If you're going to be a surgeon and work on my child, I want your ass in school. And that's okay, right? That's different. But it depends what you want to do and what you want to be. I tell my daughter this all the time. I said, if you want to go to college, my daughter doesn't want to be a doctor. She doesn't want to be in medicine. And I tell her she doesn't want to be an engineer or anything like that. She's very creative. And I say, look, I would love for you to go to school, and I'm happy to fund it if you want to go for the experience and you feel like that really calls you. And if not, that's okay. You come to business with me, or we do some other things. But there's so much we can do. That's just one thing. But you see what happens is, and I find this in my business even more so, is that women come to me and they're going from program to program. They're going from school to school. They go back for their master's. And I know people with their master's degree that are still bartending. And there's not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's like, don't you think you learned what you need to learn by now? That you can go have your job and work in the field? But see, what happens is we think that, oh, I'll believe I'm good enough when I have that. Oh, I'll believe I'm good enough when I have that. And that's not true. So yesterday I had a funny conversation with one of my clients. She said, I wish I joined Permission Granted group. And I said, we already cut your cord with coaching. I said, you need to cut your cord with coaching. And I said, I'm handing you the scissors. You don't need any more coaching right now. You need to get out into the world and do what you need to do. And while I would love to have more money from people, at the same time, I won't take your money if it's not a good fit. Because here's the deal, is that doesn't feel good to me, doing that. And while in my business, I have things like no refund policies, because if you tell me that you made a commitment to this and you're like, yes, I want to do this, and then you get scared along the way, that's your fault. That's your problem. I'm not here to enable your fear. But when you're doing the work and I see you doing the work, you don't need to keep doing it sometimes. Sometimes you need to fall back, cut the cord, jump off your mama's nipple, or sometimes your coach's, and go do what you need to do in the world. So I had one more client that did the same thing in the group. She goes, I don't know, do you guys want to help me brainstorm? And you guys, I love you ladies. If you come on here, you know I love you. You know this is how I teach. I teach by sharing. So she says, guys, can you help me brainstorm with a name for this? And I said, no. You know the name for your program. And I was like, you know what? Matter of fact, you've been in more coaching programs, mine and other people's, and like some really great people's programs. But I'm like, you have what you need, girl. You're done with coaching. Do not invest another dollar in coaching. Get out there for the next year and kick your ass. Now, if you want to get into a mastermind group, that's different. Because if you're in a mastermind group, what you're saying is, I trust myself. I know that I'm freaking amazing. I know that I'm taking action, but I also would love to be around some other people that are doing great things so they can inspire me, we can collaborate, and I can just be in that collective energy. That's different. That's totally different. So, but you see the difference in the two is trust. It's trust. Now, to get to that state of trust, sometimes you do need to do something with a coach or a mentor or a spiritual practitioner. That's what I've done. I've worked a ton with spiritual practitioners that are like reverends and like that are amazing at what they do. They're leaders and they are like coaches, but they're not in the online world and all that online internet marketing. So I just want you guys to have that thing. And is there something in your life that you feel like you don't trust yourself on making the decision right now? I just want you to call that thing into your awareness and just consider it for a moment. Carmen says yes, and Courtney says that was me. I thought I would be good enough when I got my PhD. Guys, I'll tell you a quick little story just to tell you. When my business wasn't working yet, I was 7 months into my business, and I went to Rhythmia, which I love that place. It was great. I went there. It's an ayahuasca camp, or Life Advancement Center. But I went there, and after one of the ceremonies, I'm out in the yard, and we're laying in hammocks, and we're looking at the stars, and we're talking about life. And I'm there with these two women from Malibu. And they're older than me, like in their 50s. So, you know, I honor and respect what they're saying. And they seem like, you know, you guys have had successful lives. And they say, I think that you should consider going back to school. And it like planted a seed in my mind for like 3 months. It planted a seed in my mind, and I thought, maybe I should go to school. Maybe people would take me a lot more seriously if I had my psychology degree and blah, 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 blah. I literally went to find out how I could get into UCLA. Like, I was like, okay, so I could go to Santa Monica Community College for this long. Then I could like apply to UCLA. I was about to give away years of my life and have to learn math, and I hate math. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So finally, I woke up and realized, while I love personal development and I love investing in myself, I will not invest my time and energy in learning about things I don't give a damn about, which is math. And I don't want to take these classes that I don't really want to use, right? So it was so funny. So I just realized, and then in those moments of beginning to trust myself, then my business started taking off, right? And it's funny because I could be in school still right now, trying to like get into UCLA and wonder, am I good enough to get into UCLA? Or I could be where I am right now, multiple six-figure business owner who is like starting a new business and has wonderful people that I've changed their lives because I believed in myself. I'm not telling you my story because it's all about me. I'm telling you this story because when we share our stories, we recognize we're not alone in this, right? Lamorla's agreeing, right? So like, none of us are alone in this. So how many times in the privacy of our own minds, of our own bedrooms, have we sat down and wondered, am I good enough for this? Am I right for this? Am I doing it right? What will people think? And guys, you know, I can't tell you all the times I've done it because I've lost count. But here's what I do know. That while I've lost count of all those times I've sat in the privacy of my mind and wondered, am I good enough for this? Can I do this? Do I still have the energy for this? Even more times I've picked myself back up and said, yes, girlfriend, you fucking have this. And it's funny because even my daughter, she'll notice like little cycles in my business and she's like, you're not believing in yourself right now. and I'm like, and I start thinking, I'm like, you're right. What am I doubting right now, right? And it's like going through this whole process of writing the book and launching the full spectrum method, which by the way, I had to decide in this past month in the for the sake of trusting myself. Hi, Annabelle. I realized that I was like, you know what? This month, I'm putting everything else on hold. I'm not launching another single thing until my manuscript is back. And you know, the manuscript, I have not realized what a healing process it would be, and I learn again and again and again just how healing it is. But I realized I only need to focus on a few things. Loving myself, loving my family, loving my clients. I'm taking it right back to the basics while I get my program out. Now, I am opening up to 3 new clients before end of month privately, but all this launching, creating new workbooks, I was like, I'm not doing that. But you see, it took me sitting with myself and trusting myself, trusting what I was feeling, and saying, you know what, I'm going to give this to an intelligence that's greater than me, and I know that when I'm moved to do it, I'll be moved to do it. So let me see what some of you guys say. Haley says, I get this all the time. You sure you want to do this? Guys, here's the thing why we want to spend time, and this is why I'm so bummed because I really wanted to join this mastermind, and I didn't join it because I was like, I'm not joining anything until I get my manuscript done. And this weekend they're all meeting, and I was like, that I would like to go to that, because the being around the energy of people that are stepping way up is inspiring. But just like that, the people that are around you that are like, why are you doing that? Are you ready to do that? Why are you charging that much? Oh my God, no one's going to buy that. Get away from those people for a little bit, because if you don't, the seeds are planted. We don't ever want to underestimate how impressionable we are. We are so impressionable. Even the most like strong-willed person, we're sensitive because we're energetic beings and we're all truly one, so we feel it. Courtney says, yes, I woke up and realized I didn't need another damn degree. I quit with only 1 year left. Good for you. I love when Gary Vee tells like little kids like don't go to college, because if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't need to go to college. It doesn't mean that you're not going to learn lessons there, but you could take the same, let's say if you're going to spend $50,000 or $80,000 on personal development, you can take that same amount, invest it in an environment that is going to be so conducive for you becoming your highest and best self in entrepreneurship that like school becomes irrelevant, right? And you get ahead because for those 2 to 4 years, 6 years, however long you plan on going, you have the ability to create relationships and in the field that you're already working in. So it's just interesting, and there could be any way. We can look at this anyway. So if people are on here and they're triggered about like what I'm talking about with school, what I'm saying is there's no right or wrong way, but listen to your trust, or you'll end up like me thinking that I should go to school, and obviously I shouldn't have. Carmen says, almost went back to get my master's in law after trying to drop out of law school twice. When you say almost went back, now did you turn and go into another path or route? Like what happened? Annabelle, or you already said beautiful. Hey, Annabelle. Tatiana, you're an amazing mother to raise a daughter that's so amazing and in tune with you. Thank you. Well, I tell Chanel all the time, although Chanel does miss her dad and would like to have a relationship with her father, I was telling her last night that like we're really blessed that, and you guys will read about it in the book, we've had a crazy 12 years together, Chanel and I, and we've had a relationship that makes us really close and tight. And you know, her and I moved across country, just the two of us, from a very early age. So it wasn't like I had a lot of support with her. So it was just her and I. So she saw me going through all my shit, but she also always saw me pulling myself back together and talking to myself like, this is going to happen. This is going to get better. We're going to do this. Me making the promises of what we're going to have, and then me actually achieving it. So it's been a really beautiful process when I stop and think about it. But I want you guys to think about that, because it's like, are you seeking security in like these 5 jobs that are like, you think the only 5 jobs that will get you to making $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year? Are you looking to fit into a box because of those reasons, right? It's so interesting. Tatiana says, Gilmore Girls from LA. I have never watched the Gilmore Girls. I don't know about it. Carmen says, I have my law practice still, but have revamped the business model to incorporate coaching and creating products. Amazing. See, your degrees will never go like to waste, right? It's just knowing that when you have an urge inside of you to serve or show up in a different way, like there's some people today in my Permission Granted group, a lot of the ladies want to show up. They want to be the light. They want to inspire other people. They know that they felt tremendous change in their life one way or another. And they're like, I want to be that for someone else. And we just have to know that when you feel that, honor it. But there takes this level of trust to pull yourself away from the society norm, because if I think about where I'm from in Pennsylvania, kind of small town, a lot of people, and I can think about a couple friends in my mind that when I said what I was doing, they're like, what the hell are you doing? They don't invest in personal development. They think Tony Robbins is crazy. They think that going to India and doing the things I do is like really bizarre. But now some of them are kind of down with it. Some of them came to Peru with me and they were like, all right, you seem like your life is working for you. Let me see what this craziness is about. And then they were totally into it. But you see, you got to look around at where you're at, because if you're around people that have been living the same way that their family's been living, and they're looking in the external world thinking, where can I fit in at? That's backwards. That's totally backwards, guys. The new way, the true way, the new paradigm of self-trust and love and honoring that higher intelligence within you is looking inside and asking, what feels good to me? Where am I being called to go? Where should I be serving? That is the next level space. And that is where you find true contentment. You also will find your alignment and success, because you are now tuned into your inexhaustible good. So we all have this well of inexhaustible good, which is our zone of genius, and it changes, right? Like one day I may be talking about business. The next day I may be talking about relationships. The next day I may be talking about, I don't know, spiritual awakening, whatever the hell it is. I have that permission. I gave it to myself, right? So we just want to know what that looks like. And you guys, I had to unbox myself, because as you're going to see in this crazy book of mine, that I've lived quite the unboxed life. And now I'm here to help other people do the same without going through all the craziness I went through. But it's going to be quite interesting for you guys to really read it and see what it is about me. See all these things, right? Hi, Rose. Carmen says, my degree is a tool and not who I am. Amen. Preach it, girl. She says, I've been using my story and experience to help my clients create a life living in their own terms and getting out of the box to create their imprint in the world. I love that. Melissa says, my daughter knows she needs permission from no one other than herself. Yes, and that's really what women need to learn at school, right? Like, that's what we need to learn at school, is because what we're taught at school is to just be quiet and follow the rules, right? We're taught that Christopher Columbus discovered North America, right? We're taught all these things, and we're supposed to just go, okay, yes, I'll be a good girl, and just keep it moving. And then what happens is when we come out into the world and we're like, oh my God, people are living all these different ways. I'm kind of curious about that. I want to try it. But then we're like, I don't think I can say that. I don't think I can do it. And guys, I have to tell you, it all begins with us just having an inner revolution, right? So anyway, guys, a few things, because I have a client at 12. What time is it? Or 11. 10:57. I have 3 minutes. See, my intuition was like, girl, it's time to go. So listen, check this out. I want to invite people who are like, you know what? I'm ready to just move into a higher space of self-trust, like grounding, anchoring in truth. Because the truth is, you don't know it all. But the truth is, there's something in you that does know, and that you can anchor into that and surrender to it and allow life to feel so much more pleasant and joyful. And it's amazing. And Lamorla says, I plan on going to get a PhD for me, no societal pressure. And that is amazing, right? Because whatever we feel like we need. But it should always be from a place of, I have that desire. Not like, I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel like I'm good enough if I get this, right? Because then it becomes this beautiful achievement, this accomplishment, and this path, versus like, I feel like I need this to be good enough. Because then look at what happens at the end of that. Then we get it, whatever it is, and then we're like, but wait, why don't I feel what I thought I would feel? Right? So guys, a few things. 3 new clients I'm opening up to starting next week, right? We can start next week. 3 private clients. This is for someone that is highly committed to living in devotion. You may not live in devotion now, but you would like to know what living in devotion feels like. It's a high level of surrender, and it's letting go of small preferences to be your greater, bigger vessel mission, right? Within that, you open up to more abundance, you understand universal laws, and life becomes much more magical. But that's the work privately. The flip side of that, my Monate, which is the only group that I'll be running for a long time, is it's a business. It's a way to add an additional income stream. Tonight I'm doing a call. And by the way, guys, it's 1:11. That just kind of hit me. It's 1:11 because I realized it's the day of the call, and I didn't even say anything about that yet. So tonight, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you want to know what it would be like to have this opportunity, and you're like, you know what, I would like to be a part of a big community. I would like the mentorship and support, because we have 2 coaching calls every month. We have a community that I give like challenges and assignments, and I am supporting anyone that really wants us support in that business. You get really amazing plant-based hair care products that are luxury products. They're really beautiful. They smell amazing. And you know what? They're cruelty-free, which means that, I don't know about you, but I don't like the fact that little monkeys and bunnies and mice are getting tortured for things that I may use on my hair or my skin. I don't know about you, but I'm not down with that. So this is the beautiful thing about this company. But the other thing is, you get to open up to passive income, to what it feels like to have a team underneath you that's working and meeting their goals, and you get paid a percentage of that. And that is what I really was looking for, because I love coaching and mentorship. This is what I do all the time anyway. I love inspiring and team building. So for me, this was such a natural way of being that I thought, why not add an additional income stream to it? So if this feels like a good fit for you, come on my call tonight. It's totally free. It's 30 minutes. We're doing a short meditation. I'm going to tell you my true mission, the collective mission of the group, and the opportunity for you. And if it feels good and you want to get on this team and spend more time with me and the ladies, join us, right? But be on the call tonight. So anyway, guys, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Hi, BC. Bye, Lamorla. Bye, Melissa. I'm not sure who else is on here, but pass this on to anyone that you know that has trouble trusting themselves. All right, guys. Bye.